Now, with that funky little intro out of the way, a lot of you might know that my first video on the channel was actually a review of the episode Revenant right before it ended. I'm not sure how long roughly, but now that we're at the end of Heresy and the chess puzzle is concluded, meaning that all of the episode content is done, I figured that we would do a little review before Rise of the Nine starts. So let's get into it. First thing I want to mention is that we're going to break this down into sections. First section is going to be story, so we're going to go through acts 1, 2, and 3. Then we are going to go through the activities, and after that we can go through weapons, armor, and other various things that have happened. So getting into the story, Act 1 started pretty strong. I did enjoy Act 1 the most, and I feel like it ended the best. I do think Act 1 was probably the best out of the 3 episodes, or 3 acts. The season kicks off with the death of Eris Morn, which was kind of shocking. I felt like it was time for someone to die when Heresy was launching, but they just kind of rip the plug per se and just straight up do it. Drifter in this season, I'm just going to call it a season, was really, really well done, and I really like the relationship dynamic between Drifter and Eris. It is straight up the best relationship we have in the game. Now, the other thing that I did enjoy about the Act 1 story was seeing more of Savathun as well as Zevor Wrath, even though because of the voice line strikes, we didn't actually get her much. Same with Sloane. Unfortunately, it's just something that happens. There's not a lot we can do about it. Other than that, really cool opening. And I thought that when Oryx was introduced, or at least the Echo of Navigation was introduced, that was a really nice introduction and a good way to go into Act 2. The only downside that I really have to say about Act 1 is, and this is across the 3 acts, it was very short, and it felt rushed in some ways. For example, one of the things that I didn't like about Eris's death is the fact that we immediately learn that she's alive again because she has a throne world. I would have much preferred them leave her as dead, quote unquote, until Act 2, where we learn about her throne world and learn that she is alive. I feel like that would have been a much more interesting way to build things, as well as it would have felt like she actually died. Like, it didn't feel like she died because we knew that she wasn't dead. She was just in her throne world. Moving along to Act 2, I thought Act 2 was probably the strongest out of the 3 acts. It featured the navigation, or the Echo of Navigation, a lot more. And the Echo of Navigation is, by far, one of the coolest characters that we have gotten in the franchise, full stop. Oryx was already a fan favorite villain, and the fact that we just get more Oryx is amazing, and I really liked his idea of how to pursue things now that the galaxy or the system has changed, and the fact that his sisters have essentially forsaken everything that they stood for, in addition to him directly contradicting the Sword Logic himself. And I have to say, some of the voice lines that the voice actor for Oryx had, I don't actually know what his name is, the voice actor I mean, but he did a phenomenal job in some of the voice lines, and honestly, I'm beyond impressed with how well he did. So congrats to that dude. We also get the reunition. I don't know what the word is. Reunition. We have Drifter and Eris reunite in this act, and it is the best way Bungie has handled romance to date. It was nothing over the top. It was nothing huge. It was just them meeting again. You can tell that the two characters do care about each other, and they are the best couple in the entire game, full stop. I'm sorry, Saint and Osiris, it's just a fact. Moving on to Act 3, this is the act where we actually have to figure out how to destroy the Echo. I also believe that, I can't remember exactly, but we did start collecting Willbreaker at some point and we reforge it. Really cool moment, really cool sword. I kind of wish it turned into an exotic sword, just because it would have been cool to have Willbreaker as a sword. But I understand why they probably didn't do that. Additionally, seeing Savathun and Zivorath really push us and Eris was very interesting to me, and I felt like towards the end, I'm going to spoil it, we do kill the Echo, which Savathun just wanted to take back to Earth Runeworld. And having Savathun go from an ally type role, she was never really our ally, it was more we were pawns in her game, to now absolutely hating our guts and going to be a problem in the future, I think was a really neat idea, and I really like how they executed it. Again, the story was very, very short for Act 3, which I wasn't keen on. I was hoping for more to do in the week than just whatever the story mission was, do a nether run, do a quarter blades, whatever. But overall, I would say this is one of the better seasonal stories. I am going to maybe make a tier list video on seasonal content. If you want to see that, let me know in the comments. But I would put this in the top 5 for seasonal stories, I'd say. Now, moving on to activities. First activity we got this season was the Nether, which you're seeing in the background currently. I'm sure you've all played it a bunch. It is alright. It's not the best activity we've ever gotten, but it is a step in the right direction in my opinion. I do like the open world aspect that we have, similar to how Leviathan worked. That is a great idea and it works phenomenally. The things that I don't like are the boon system. The boons are cool in concept, however, they very heavily rely on 2 things. One, what build you're running, which is just a you problem basically, as well as what seasonal artifacts and mods are powerful. For example, if we had this next season, we don't know what the mods are going to be, but things like Bolt Charge and Arc Sprinter, I think they're called, it's the one that gives you Bolt Charge when you sprint. Those are really, really powerful right now because of all the Bolt Charge and Arc mods. However, next season, they're not going to be as powerful, or if we had this activity staying around, then they wouldn't be as powerful. So there's certain things like that where some boons you just don't even grab. Like, I'll be honest, running this, sometimes I just didn't grab any because I didn't see a benefit to it. So I think that could be worked on and improved on. I do think it is going to stick around in coming activities and coming seasons. However, I would like to see a little bit more depth with it and something more unique than you take less damage for wearing 4 pieces of seasonal armor, because quite frankly, I've never grabbed that one and I don't think anyone else has. Now, the second and final activity that we got for this season was the Court of Blades. Court of Blades is essentially a boss gauntlet of sorts. Now, I prefer the Court of Blades to the Nether, simply because the Nether still takes like 15 minutes to complete, where Court of Blades you can be done in 10 minutes. There is a timer. It isn't an infinite activity. But I do think it was a step in the right direction as well for other seasonal content. The little buffs, I think they're also called boons. No, they're augments. Those fucking useless. Like, I'll be honest, don't bring them back, because 95% of the time I didn't know what they were doing and they didn't really have an impact on my gameplay. So in that aspect, leave those out, maybe trade them for the boon system. But I understand why they are experimenting. It was good experimentation. I just don't think it's worth implementing a second time. The boss gauntlet aspect of doing 2 boss waves with puzzles, really great idea, really well implemented, absolutely love it. But I would have liked to have seen normal mode, expert mode, and infinite mode. So essentially what that would be is it would be like the 50 wave onslaught, except it would go until you wipe. So let's say after you do 20 bosses, you have Extinguish on, and the power level keeps going up and up and up until it goes to fucking 3000 level or whatever. Something where you cannot get past. Or at least it will take you so long that you probably shouldn't. I think that would be a cool way to implement it. Sure, maybe have a limit, but I would have liked to have seen an infinite mode where you could have just gone for boss rush after boss rush. Now, we're going to get into the miscellaneous stuff. First things first, weapons. Some are good, some aren't. The standouts are the grenade launcher and the machine gun. Those are the only two that I've consistently used. They're great. The LMG is like a mini Thunderlord. Apart from that, can't really say too much. I haven't used many of the other ones. The bow looks very, very powerful with the right perks. It would essentially be a Le Monarch, but legendary, so that's probably worth picking up. Apart from that, not much else I can say. I also want to say that I really liked the two vendors this season, how it switches between the paths. That was a really good concept and really well implemented, and I hope they bring something similar back when it makes sense to. Now, I'm going to quickly go over Sundered Doctrine because it did come out with the season, and I already have a video of my review of it. In short, great dungeon, probably one of the better ones. Mechanics are really unique and cool, and I really, really enjoyed it. Additionally, the worm hunt / quest is awesome. The armor looks good. The bosses aren't too difficult. You can solo this pretty easily. And yeah, I don't have much else to say about it. I just think it was a great dungeon, and you should definitely go try it out if you haven't already. Additionally, we got the Arc subclass update this season, which, if you can't tell by the gameplay of me only using Arc Titan, I really like it. The introduction of Bolt Charge is 10 out of 10, and I really hope that they do it for the other subclasses going forward. I definitely think something like Void or Void or Strand might be able to use it pretty well. Now, the last thing that I want to go over before we end the video is the last thing that has happened in the season so far, which is the chess ARG. Fucking amazing puzzle. It's a really, really cool way to do things. It was really cool to see just like go around to locations and explore and pick up chess pieces, and then you go and play that big game of chess. The solution boggles me because I didn't really participate in the helping of solving it. I just did the thing and I got my cutscene and I'm happy. As for where that leaves us, I have mixed feelings of where it leaves us, essentially. Destiny hasn't been in a great spot since Echoes and Revenant. Heresy has kind of brought it back, however, I'm still worried about what comes next and whether or not Bungie can deliver. But it's not only that, it's also the fact that we are currently in the hype cycle of Destiny. I'm sure veterans would know, but newer players might not realize this, but Destiny goes in a yearly cycle of expansion comes out, everything is great, then we switch over to everything is terrible because the seasonal content for the first season of the year is horrible. Then the middle season is either it's really shit or it's really good. Oh, not really good. It's either really shit or really mid. Either way, the middle year sentiment is never positive. It's always mixed. And then we get the last season of the year and it's always hype. And then they start doing the reveal stuff and it's like Destiny is back again. And we're currently in the thing of Destiny is back again because of the hype. So I am worried that they won't be able to deliver and that we're just repeating the cycle like we always do. But that's just my opinion. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below what you thought of episode Heresy and what you're excited for in the future. I do want to let you know that on May 6th, when they are doing the reveal event and the Rite of the Nine update, I will be live streaming on my Twitch channel and here on YouTube, hopefully, if it works. So if you want to watch along with me and give your opinions, do come along. The description has the Twitch channel. Apart from that, I hope you've had a lovely day, and I will see you in the next video.